Hello, everybody. It's Chris Kelly with the Fountain Report. Thanks for joining us today. I'm excited that we have Dr. Monica Tarantino with us, one of the co-founders of the Senior Dog Veterinary Society. So welcome, Dr. Tarantino. Glad to have you on.
Thank you so much for having me.
What do you see as the most urgent unmet need in senior dog care today, both from the veterinarian's perspective and from the pet owner's perspective?
That's a really good question. I think for veterinarians, such as myself, I think one of the gaps that we have in our education is actually focusing on geriatric medicine and how you actually specifically target and treat these senior animals. The really interesting thing is that once you go out and practice, and you practice in a vet clinic, like over 50% of the animals that you see are actually senior, they're age 7 or above. And yet when we were in vet school, for most of us, we didn't have classes that really targeted that. And so I think that that is a real gap that we have. And that's one of the things that we're actually trying to change and fix through the Senior Dog Veterinary Society. So I co-founded a Senior Dog Vets, is what we call it, which is an organization that focuses on advancing the care of elderly canines. And we do that through continuing education and a membership that vets, vet teams can participate in and learn how to best treat those geriatric patients that come in, because they're so special. And so that's one way that we can actually, an urgent unmet need that I feel is happening right now in the vet world. For pet parents, I think the best thing that they can do is really start to become aware of the issues that elderly pets face. So things such as chronic pain, becoming more aware of the signs to look out for are really important. Understand the changes those older dogs are going to start going through so they can start monitoring them a little bit more closely. For a lot of us, and I'll share a story later about Frodo, my first senior dog. For a lot of pet parents, we are used to having these relatively healthy dogs throughout their life, but then once they certainly become a senior or start entering their geriatric years, there's a lot of things that come up and that they're prone to. And so just being aware of that can just make that part of pet parenthood a little bit easier for them.
Great. So how can general practice veterinarians better adapt their workflows and communication styles to support aging dogs and their caregivers more effectively than they do today?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I think that currently one of the things that we can do to better adapt to elderly canines coming into practice is going to be starting to screen a little bit more aggressively for the different conditions that we know they're prone to. One of the things I'm actually most proud of at Senior Dog Vets is that we have this amazing pre-visit screening checklist that we use for all dogs that are age 7 or above, and this screens for things like quality of life concerns, chronic pain, incontinence, which is a really big elderly canine issue, a lot of different things. And so that screening is going to be really important that we start actually doing that now to pick up on things sooner for them.
Great. So senior dogs are living longer than ever, which makes me happy because I have one. So what are the exciting breakthroughs or trends in diagnostics, therapeutics, or nutrition that you get most excited about today?
It's a really exciting time right now for senior dogs because there's a lot more research being done on geriatric medicine and geriatric topics. Some of the really cool things that I think are going on right now are the study of things such as anti-aging drugs. So if you ever heard of a company called Loyal, they're a biotech firm out of San Francisco. They're developing an anti-aging drug specifically for senior dogs, so dogs age 10 and above. That's going to be coming out in 2026. We'll know more about that soon. We've also got other things such as different diagnostics that are looking at things such as how do you detect cancer sooner in dogs. And so I think that as soon as we figure out exactly how to implement that in practice for our general practitioners, we're going to have a lot of really cool tools that we can use to help these guys.
Great. So what inspired you to dedicate your career to senior dog care, and was there a particular moment or instance that sparked that passion?
Yeah, I had my soul dog was a Westie named Frodo Baggins Tarantino, and he became a senior when I was in vet school. So he turned age 10 when I was a second year, and he went from being this dog that was totally healthy his entire life to all of a sudden we couldn't keep him out of the vet clinic. He had neck pain come up. He had a collapsing trachea. He had a cough that a lot of Westies get. He even had a mass in his spleen. We had to take him for emergency surgery for one morning. And so he just had a lot of things that came up. And I remember just watching my best friend just start to face the consequences of the aging process and what happens to them as they become seniors, and thinking, I don't feel prepared for this. Because of that experience, I decided that after I graduated vet school, I would go out and try to become really good at becoming a vet first, but then I would try to focus in on this really special demographic of dog and help pet parents deal with exactly the same challenges that I had when I had Frodo.
That's great, and that's really good work that you're doing. Any parting thoughts you'd like to share with our audience before we break?
Yeah, I think that it's really important to acknowledge that senior pets in general, they really are the underdog to me in vet medicine. And they don't get the attention that I think that they deserve at this time. But I do think that practices, veterinarians, like any of our colleagues in the vet field that start focusing in on senior pet care, as well as the aging pet, I think that if you start focusing on that now, you're going to be ahead of the game when it comes to the next 10, 20 years in vet medicine. They're really the future of vet medicine.
Great. Thanks so much for making the time to join us. Great work. Congratulations, and best of luck as you guys move forward.